Good evening, everybody. Can I hear a little bit louder good evening from all of you? Good evening. I know I'm standing between you and the coffee break, but you have no choice. Okay. Thank you, Ty, for kind of inviting me here. They probably thought that a lady on the stage with a mic in the main auditorium would add a little bit of color. So here I am, standing in front of you. I know, I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but I know you're our host, Shah. I remember you were Shah. So Shah kind of struggled with my introduction, but you know, kind of just to put it very simple, I just am coming from a very engaging We Connect thing, and I think please a round of applause to all the women power in Thai. I'm coming from Bangalore and it was so wonderfully managed. That's all you have to do for your ladies. I mean, I thought the clap at least will be a little louder than the good evening. Yeah. So, you know, it was a very engaging session, and I was surprised because, you know, Madan and me were talking about how to take the Thai women in Bangalore, because there we are kind of relegated to the SIG, the special interest group. You know, so I think women entrepreneurs is so more mainstream in Hubli than actually in Bangalore. So hats off to all of you guys here. I'm very happy to be here today, right? So I'm just going to be spending about 5 minutes. So typically my role has been a confluence of education. I am in the education space. I have combined it with entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, not only having my own company, we're an audit firm, like he said, we help companies grow, very simply put, and improve their bottom lines. And I'm also combining it with community development, because I feel entrepreneurs is where wealth can actually be created, right? But we need a very strong education foundation for our mindset to change, because somewhere all of us are, there is this fear factor that comes in us. A lot of us are known by our percentages. They don't even ask your name. They say, percentage kitna hai? It's some like business, right? I really don't know your name. I don't care. I just want to know what your turnover is. Right? So somewhere we become really number focused and lose the creativity. And I think wealth should be created. We should not lose focus from, it's nothing wrong when somebody stands up here on stage and say, I want to generate profits. There's absolutely nothing wrong. I think what we need to move is towards saying that, how do I invest my profits? Can I give back something? So something called a shared value. I was invited at Forbes when they had this annual launch of the theme that they're going to adopt for the year, and we were all talking about shared value. And a lot of talk was focused on tier 2 cities, you know, like Hubli, right? And I've heard since morning that Hubli is going to be the next Pune. Yes? Yeah, and believe me, in Bangalore, we really talk about it, right? And I think what you have and what I'm seeing, and I know I'm still pretty young and I'm humbly putting it here, I've seen a lot simply because we come from a family of IAS officers, IPS officers, lawyers. We've kind of traveled. I've traveled every village in northern Karnataka and probably all the districts of Karnataka with my dad, right? We kind of go to villages, we go to palaces, we get hosted by the Raj Bhavans and so on and so forth. But Hubli has been close to my heart for 2 reasons. One, your food is fantastic, right? All your roti and chutney and something is great, right? And the second is the whole entrepreneurial spirit. I find people here to be so much more sincere, so much more wanting to go. So I'm really blessed to kind of have this opportunity, because there are so many entrepreneurship opportunities all of us are sitting on. And I'm not going to classify it as women and men, but take food, for example. You know, food is one of the top 5 revenue generators anywhere. Okay, and I don't think Hubli has branded its food well enough. You have some fantastic food, and we have Jola Roti Mane in Bangalore, which is very profitable. Okay, so there is food, there's your traditional manufacturing outfits, which requires a lot of capital investment For other towns and other cities, it's going to take some time to get that kind of investment, but Hubli already has it. So I think it's just the next scale. And thirdly is, you know, women are pretty much 50% of the society, and I believe, and going by the statistics, there are a lot of women entrepreneurs in Hubli. So if you can just tie up and collaborate, I think is a huge value for you. And what probably I would leave with is the need for training programs, a need to you know, learn what's happening elsewhere, a need to understand tax structures. I was very happy that Madhuri was with me. She's a company secretary, and you know, you will need more of her services as Hubli grows, right? Because you will have more private limited companies with more investments, right? So I'm just saying that it's been wonderful here. I think Hubli most definitely will be the next Pune. I myself started as an employee in HR, a very confused kid, still confused in parts, right? But you know, moved on to HR. I've managed and hired more than 3,000 people. A lot of my work was with Infosys. You heard Mr. Narayan Murthy, we call him NRN. You know, talk about 3-tier leadership, right? So for every critical role, you have 3 leaders, and that was my job at Infi, to make structures for those 3 leaders, 3 tiers of leaders. And then I moved on to creating my own company, and now I've moved on to creating entrepreneurial ecosystems. So here you have a lady, and I don't want to take the cognizance that because I'm a lady, but funding traditionally is a male's domain, right? And that's what I was asking the TiE members, saying that you have had only men on the stage. But you know, ladies can be entrepreneurs, and we can also fund businesses, and we've been doing that. So why don't you have a lady up on stage, right? So I think the world is becoming flatter, we're becoming more convergent, and careers are not as traditional. When I walked in, I heard a lot of questions about English, and believe me, in HR, we've sat through so many interviews that it just becomes, okay, one more candidate, please come, please tell us about yourself. That's the first question we'll ask, right? So I heard a lot of questions, and it was a little thing because this seminar is all about entrepreneurs, and here we're talking about jobs. So I didn't quite get it, unless what you're doing is a business model that you're working on, right? So how is the future going to be? It's going to be absolutely checkered. Like my parents didn't know what a mobile phone is, and our children are being born with a mobile phone. So the technology is going to play a huge role in the way we're going to be managing resources, in the way business models are going to get planned. I mean, sitting here, I can have a branch office in Germany, in US, in Sweden, and it all happens on a click of a button. It was not possible 40 years ago, right? So the future is out there for us, and one of the major strengths that I found in TiE Hubli, and I would like to end with that, is your diversity. I think it's fantastic that you have diversity in the nature of companies represented at TiE. Guess the companies in TiE Bangalore. No brainer, right? Right? It's all IT and BT, and when I come here, I see coffee, I see, you know, I see so many others. It's fabulous because India is a diverse country. Whoever said India is IT and BT only, I don't agree with that, right? We're so diverse. So I would like to leave with, you know, the diversity bit, which is going to be a game changer. Even in the workforce, for example, there is training happening on how you report to a boss who's younger than you. We are doing those programs, right? So things are changing, the workforce are changing, it's not as traditional as it used to be. So basically 3 pillars for us to take home. One is gender diversity. All of you understand gender diversity? Yeah? What is it? What is it? Male, female and transgenders. I have to be politically correct, I'm on stage, right? So one is the gender diversity. The second is culture diversity. What do you understand by that? I heard a sigh. Yeah, I'm asking that question. What can you think when I say Culture diversity. Quickly. Otherwise, Vivek is going to drag me off stage and say, hands up. Yeah.
From different parts of the world and they are
different parts of the world, even India, my friends. India is not one country. We're like almost, some of the parts are similar, but I think the count is we are 23 different countries in one country. And I think it'll be a little more than that, right? But somewhere. So it's all about cultural diversity as entrepreneurs, how you can manage gender diversity, because women are going to come. And women entrepreneurs, you have to manage men as your employees. Okay, you can't be women, women, women all the time, right? Second is cultural. Cultural, not India versus the globe or India versus China. It is within India. It's between cities and rural. We hired a lot of people from tier 2 cities, and you know, they just didn't sit next to a lady. They just didn't. And we had the city guys going saying, "Hi Priya, how are you doing? What's up, dude? Are you on Facebook?" And then there would be this guy who's not exposed saying, "Are they girlfriend, boyfriends?" Like, no, darling, they're just friends. You know, that's how we talk. But it really hampers because it calls on their self-esteem. They somehow feel that if they don't talk English and they're not, according to them, hip or cool, he's not there. And that's completely wrong. I think we need to work on building self-esteem. And that will happen only if we become culturally one. The third is generational diversity. Okay, extremely important. What is generational diversity? Age difference. The workforce is becoming younger by the day. The jobs are no longer degree related. Please understand that and appreciate that. A lot of jobs that are getting created today are not degree relevant. I get a job in an event management company. How has that got to do with whether I'm an MBA or not? A lot of engineers are getting jobs in BPOs. Right? So it's no longer the thing that if I do this, then I'm going to get the job. A lot of times what you study and the job you're getting are different, right? So the workforce is going to become younger. There are times when you're going to be reporting to somebody who's younger than you, and also vice versa. The stress is not on the older guy reporting into the younger guy. The stress is also on the younger person managing somebody who is his father's age and giving him feedback on performance appraisal. It scared me because I had people double my age reporting to me, and I had to sit down and say, "Well, sir, you've really not met your targets." And I fired 300 people in my career. It's not something that I'm proud of, but you have to get used to it for you to become successful. So things are going to change. And the fourth pillar is all about specially challenged people. Right? Because as a society as India, there is that section of population. And there is this company called Vindhya Infotech, run by Parvati. We had her over at NASSCOM, where I was chairing the NASSCOM's cultural diversity thing. We had invited her over. Her business model is fantastic, right? She says that if you're physically challenged, only then do you get a job in my company. If you're normal, please go apply elsewhere, because, you know, because her work is BPO, right? She has to just do data entry and stuff like that. So she's actually created a business model. This would be my submission, is to focus on diversity, and by diversity, I mean diversity and inclusivity in these 4 sections. So thank you so much for having me over, and I wish to come here next year and probably see more women power up on the stage, and vice versa. Okay, come over to Bangalore and let us know how we can help you out. Thank you very much.